Right. So, for those of you that have been following me for a while, if you follow me on my socials, you know that I have been cutting back on drinking and then completely trying to cut it out of my routine. I mean, I'm not gonna never drink again, but I don't really find it appealing anymore, and I don't think it's healthy to do anymore. Obviously, that would hinder what I normally do for the beginning of my episodes, which is make a drink for you guys. Still gonna do holiday drinks. I might even throw in a mocktail here and there. Or, if I just really want to show you guys something, then I will go ahead and do alcohol in the beginning of the episode. But there's another love, another passion of mine that I have always dreamed of being able to do and get paid to do, and that is eat. And so I was like, I might just eat in the beginning of my episodes or during or while I'm talking. I don't know. I might not. I might just do my episodes and leave it at that. But I did happen to take a break and make myself some lunch. And it's really good. And then if I eat and try to do another episode, I'm going to get the itis. I'm mixing some energy with my water. And yeah. Oh, so good, by the way. I mean, I drink like 6 bottles of water every day anyway, but some energy is good. But no, this is a Big Mac toasted sandwich. I was making Big Mac sliders, and there was some extra ground beef, cheese, lettuce, whatever. So I made a toasted Big Mac sandwich, and I know how to make the Big Mac sauce. If you want me to teach you, I'll teach you. Anyway, and it's to die for. Literally to die for. When you learn to make the foods that are fast foods or restaurant foods, when you learn how to make them at home the healthy way, you'll never eat out again. And to know it doesn't have all these chemicals that are killing you. I learned to make a cheesy gordita crunch from Taco Bell. Chef's kiss. I want another one, but I have to work. I'm telling you. Food is my happy place. Food is literally my happy place. I love giving relationship advice. But God, I love food. I would say food is better than I'm not even joking. We can live without sex. But if we were humanly possible to live without food, right? And someone said, okay, for the rest of your life, you can either have sex or eat food. What would you pick? And 10 out of 10, I swear to God, shoot me down if I'm lying, would pick food. I would. It sounds crazy, but I would. Maybe I'm Delulu, but just because you don't have sex doesn't mean you can't have fun with yourself. So think smarter outside the box, y'all. Anyways, yeah. So my obsession with food is going to be incorporated most likely into my channel. And that's the update for today. Now let me go give you some tough love and let's get to these questions, okay? It's rainy and nasty out today, so I wore something a little comfy, you know what I'm saying? I actually need a blanket. Oh, I love blankets. How do you feel about a guy that you're dating that's very sexual? And by sexual, I mean, stares at girls when they walk by, quick up and down, has a whole collection of corn. He threw most of it out, but, I said that he could keep some that we could enjoy together. It's not constant or all the time. He can go weeks without it. He did in the beginning because he knew how I felt about it. But he constantly has half-dressed women pop up on his Facebook or, his group of friends with his guys from the military. And some of his movies are movies of dancers and whatnot. All around, he's a great guy. He treats me with tons of respect, and the kids, family, and friends all love him. Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. In my opinion, and this is just my opinion, okay? For most people, you're going to find other people attractive no matter how much you love your partner. Me personally, when I am in love with someone, I really don't see nobody else. I might be able to acknowledge oh yeah, that's a good looking person. But listen, when it's my man, everyone else just is not as attracted to me. But that's just me. But normal people are, a majority of people are going to find other people attractive. So with that being said, I don't necessarily think that he should totally get off with it. Like, I think that it is something he needs to work on. Like, but that doesn't mean that he's not like a good partner, or that doesn't mean that, he's going to go cheat on you or whatever. I do think it's maybe just something that is a little bit more of a struggle for him. And that's something that he has to be open enough with himself and real enough with himself to work on if he sees a long-term future with you. Like, if me and my man are out and I see a girl with a fat ass, I'm going to probably point it out. I'm going to be like, yo, look at that. You know what I mean? But when it gets to a point where like we're talking and I'm noticing him eyeing women up and down multiple times, or, I'm noticing that he's needing, not wanting just occasionally, but needing to go look at something else to satisfy him. Because I know you mentioned like a couple weeks, he can go a couple weeks without it. That's not a lot of time. So the fact that you need to go, every couple weeks, it's like, why is that an addiction? Why is that something that is his vice? There's certain examples in here that I wouldn't really see a problem with, but then there's some things that I think he can work on, right? Like, the group chat with the boys, listen, that's just how guys are going to be. They're going to, chit chat about that sometimes. Okay, cool. Not the end of the world. He's just talking to the boys. Now, the whole, like, it's popping up on his Facebook and social media and, like, all, if it's just nothing but half-naked women, it's like, yo, what's going on here? Like, is this all you're entertaining yourself with? Because that's what your algorithm is if you're only entertaining that. So that's something that he could work on, like fixing his algorithm. And then the fact that he has, like, stuff on his phone that is, like, of other dancers, that's someone you're in person seeing, right? You were able to record it. Why is that still on your phone when you're in a relationship? I do think that that's disrespectful. I don't think it's wrong for my man and his friends to go check out the strip club every once in a while. That's just my personal preference. However, for you to have videos on your phone of dancers, absolutely not. And you date me, bitch, I could dance for you at home. Like, no. So it's kind of like, I don't see like too many red flags here. I think it's something that can be worked out, but it's definitely something that, like, I don't think you're crazy for being concerned. So I would just talk to him about it. But yeah, I've been seeing someone for about 2 months now and regularly spending the night at his house. We did have the exclusive talk and are not sleeping with others. Recently, he told me that I'm welcome to leave clothes and things at his house to make it easier so I don't have to pack things each time. I didn't say much at the time and excited that he asked, but I'm kind of scared to actually do it. I haven't been in a relationship for 3 years, and the last one was with my daughter's dad for 16 years, which ended very badly. Any positive support would greatly be appreciated. He could be a better person for you in 2 months than that person was for 16 years. I mean, yeah, things are going to definitely feel odd because it's like you were with someone for so long and like that's what you were used to. And now this is the first person since then that's like, oh God, like things are getting kind of real, I do kind of get what you're saying because I've been quote unquote single for like a very, very, very long time. And as much as I think I'm ready for a relationship and a marriage and I think I know what it takes, like sometimes I get scared myself. Like I'm like, what if it really happens? And then I have all this pressure on like making sure that I do everything correct and I don't fuck it up and I'm doing my part and all that I almost psych myself out and like don't even want to give it a chance. I had to check myself on that. So just let it flow. Be positive. Like be excited. This could be, don't block your blessings now. This could be a good blessing for you. And it sounds like it's moving in a good, healthy pace and direction. And I would just go with it. Would you consider dating a man who appears to not be able to hold a job long term? To give more context, he had 6 jobs in a 3-year period. These are his full-time main jobs, not side gigs, nor do they have contract positions. He seems to last under a year with almost each job. I just don't get it. I do understand that sometimes an employer does restructuring and lays employees off, and sometimes it is just not a good fit. However, 6 jobs is excessive. Am I wrong here? This seems like a huge red flag. I dated someone like that, where I was like tired of him not being able to keep a job because I'm like, okay, what are you doing in all of these workplaces that they keep terminating you? Do you not take authority well? Are you not punctual? Are you not a hard worker? Are you expecting everyone to do what you're supposed to do and then you just get paid? And I found out later that he had anger issues. So I was like, oh, if you don't know how to carry yourself in a professional manner, well, then, maybe you should start your own business and you can be your own boss. And you don't have to worry about anyone telling you what to do. And especially if we're going 50-50 on the bills, I can't be worried constantly like, oh God, he might lose his job tomorrow, So I would say it is a red flag. But also keep in mind, is it, him leaving jobs because the next one he gets paid more and paid more and paid more, like he's trying to keep leveling up and do better work to get to where he wants to go? Or is it just like, oh, I thought everything was great and then boom, he's just getting fired, because that's going to be a constant stress for you. Obviously, I don't know how old you guys are, but if he's younger, then it's like, okay, when people are in their early 20s, they do dumb shit, whatever. But if we're like middle to late 20s, 30s, 40s, absolutely not. Like, get it together. And ultimately, you got to decide if that's something you won't put up with. Because even if you can foot the bill, even if you can handle your shit financially, you still don't want the stress of like, what if something happens to you one day and you need that security on his end? It's a mutual thing for both of y'all. So yeah. My husband is away for work and we decided to use this time as a trial of separation because we recognize that our marriage is under strain. Despite my naturally anxious attachment and his avoidant attachment, we're working on our issues. I've realized that my share of the issues have been openly discussing and apologizing for my actions during our conversations. He responds with kindness and patience, reminding me of why I fell in love with him. However, when I'm overwhelmed with daily life and kids or financial issues and seek his emotional support, he becomes dismissive, opting to send money instead of offering the comfort that I need. This reaction makes me feel unheard, and I wonder if the approach is his way of coping with stress or if he's just avoiding emotional discussion that doesn't serve his ego. Despite this, he's diligent at home and contributes well, but his inability to engage with my emotions, particularly when I'm not feeling positive or cheerful, has been challenging. I'd like to understand if his reactions are due to stress and feeling helpless, or if there's a deeper issue affecting the communication, especially during times when I need support the most. Any advice? So what I'm gathering is you made the comment like when you are dealing with stress, he just kind of throws money at the situation instead of tries to comfort you. Think about it. Modern times, modern day relationships aren't the same as like the traditional old school relationships, right? But the man was to provide, the woman was the nurturer. So in his mind, he might just think, as long as I'm providing and I can just take care of this, all right, cool. Let me take the stress off of her in dealing with the situation. And quite frankly, I think a lot more women would want that. They would want their husband to just, okay, let's solve it. Bing, bang, boom. Does this cover it? All right, we're good. I don't know if you ever seen the funny meme where it was like a woman's brain versus a man. It's like the man wants to get straight to the point. Let's find the solution, right? Especially if he's a leader. The woman, it's like we want to go all the way around and discuss all these different points and then get to the end. And while I understand what you're saying as far, especially if it has to come with like the kids or just like other things that are not financial, it's like, sometimes I just need you to be there for me. And that is something that he has to kind of work on with you. However, when it comes to financial stuff or when it comes to like stuff that needs just like problem solving, I just think that men are more so like, let me get to the problem solving aspect of it and then let's move on. During conversations, like he'll respond with like kindness and he's respectful and, so it seems like he cares. It seems like he tries. It seems like he wants to be the best husband that he can, but you guys you communicate a little bit differently and then sometimes life gets in the way. Like it's not only just going to affect you, it's like the kids are also affecting him. So it's like life gets in the way and then you kind of get caught up in just making sure everything's good that you forget to sit down, breathe, take a second and just be like, okay, like how are you feeling? Let me be there for you, So yeah, I think that that's just, again, communication. I'm always talking about how important communication is in a relationship. And I don't think that this is something that I would want to end my marriage over. I mean, if you guys want to try the separation, that's fine. But I only think that doing a trial separation is just going to possibly give room for more issues. I think it's like, no, we need to really sit down and figure this out because I don't want this to end. I don't think it's malicious. I think it's maybe he really just isn't putting himself in your shoes. Sometimes all it takes is just a way of breaking something down a little differently than you normally do. So maybe you can find a different way to like break this down to him and explain how you're feeling. You know, I try to get women to see a man's point of view just based off of all my guy friends and just things they've talked about that they complain about that they wish women understood more. And they claim that I seem to get it. So I try to help women understand it in a different way. So maybe, you know, flip the table, turn the table, you know, like maybe there's a way that you need to break it down to him to get him to understand. But I don't think it's anything that he's trying to do on purpose because he just doesn't care. How do you navigate a devastating breakup? It came out of nowhere. Then we did the whole situationship thing after that, and it ended last year. We've been no contact for about 2 months, and I tried to call last week. He didn't answer, but I am heartbroken. I'm worried about him. I miss him. How do you get over it? I'm in therapy, which is good, but it's so hard because I don't have many girlfriends going through similar things. I need advice. Well, I guess I would need to know why the breakup happened because quite frankly, if it's a devastating breakup that came out of nowhere, I'm not really sure why you continued the whole situationship thing. It should have been a very cut and dry, like, you obviously broke up with me and blindsided me, which right then and there is like, wow, like you didn't communicate with me to even let me know that there was a possibility of this happening and you blindsided me. So why the fuck would I want to keep in contact with you if you couldn't even respect me enough to talk to me before it got to this point? And then on top of that, you blindsided me. So I don't know why you continued with the situationship. I know that you can't change the past. It is what it is. The universe has been trying to get you away from this person. So if you had a situationship going on and then now you've been no contact for 2 months, what I think happened was, and I hate to say this because I know this is going to sting when I say it. He broke up with you because he knew he didn't want to be with you anymore, okay? But he still wanted the comfortability of knowing I can still fuck. I can still have someone who knows my body. I know their body. I know they still have feelings involved. It sounds like he was a very selfish POS. He broke up with you. He blindsided you. He used you until he was good and found something else. And now that's taken over his interest. And that's who he clearly is choosing. So I think it's best that you both go your separate ways. I would block contacts from him. And yeah, it's going to hurt. It's going to hurt for a while, you know? It took me a year and a half to get over somebody that I really, 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 really cared about. And I just focused on myself, you know? And I didn't entertain other people. And then out of the blue, someone else came along that totally made me forget about him. So yeah, it's going to hurt a little bit before it gets better, but you definitely need to block him and start focusing on yourself. Like you said, therapy will help. Find you a hobby, get to the gym, you know, just keep yourself busy. Keep yourself busy. Do you see it as a red flag if a guy mostly texts you at 9:30 or later? He works daytime hours. Yes. Yes. You know it. I know it. Yes. If a man wants to, he will. He will find 5 minutes in his day to text you. I'm sorry. There's no excuse. I was talking to a dude who literally works like 12-hour shifts, and then he's on call to where they only have to give him like 8 hours in between before he might have to come back to work. And then sometimes if it's an emergency, they only have to give him 4 hours. So he literally has time to shower, sleep, and eat and take a shit. And then he's got to go back to work. And guess what? He still found time to talk to me. Sorry. I would deem it as a red flag. I don't think he wants something serious. I think he wants you as just fun. That's just my opinion. I think you know. I think you're asking silly questions. Found my ex on Hinge 2 days after we split. No new here label, which you get if you joined in the last 7 days. If you know, you know. My friend said maybe he just deleted the app or hid his profile during our relationship. What do you think? Does it matter? He's your ex. I mean, yes, I get it. You kind of would like to know if he was fucking around when y'all were together, but he's your ex. Y'all not together no more. What does it matter? What you gonna do? Go yell at him and be like, oh, and by the way, I found out that you did this while we was together. Okay, he's gonna be like, and we're not together no more. Girl, why is you asking? Why does it matter? That's my advice. That's my advice. Don't hate me. Being lied to so much, I've become numb. I'm not saying that what I'm doing is right, but I knew that the last guy that I was dating for 5 months was a player. He was an F-boy. I didn't care. I just used him for sex. I used the strategies that were used on me, on others now, and I've become a player. I feel like I was forced into this through letdown after letdown. I don't know what to do. Okay, well, first and foremost, you can't say you were forced into anything, okay? I've been treated like utter dog shit by men in the past, and I have never done that to somebody else. You doing this is you projecting your hurt onto other people. You are trying to fill a void. It's almost like fueling your ego, and you're doing what is like one of the main problems with people nowadays, and that's, I'm gonna get you before you get me. And well, you know what? I'm just tired of everybody, so I'm just gonna give in, and I'm just gonna be a shitty person too. It's like, don't do that. You need to not even entertain a man. If you've been let down, there is a common denominator. And I say that being in the same position. I've been let down. And guess what? I had to start taking accountability for the fact of, what am I tolerating? What am I entertaining? What am I attracting myself to? So when you start to focus on yourself and you heal and you really, because it ultimately comes down to, you may think you're confident, you may think you know your self-worth, you may think you don't have insecurities. Yes, you do. I'm confident as fuck. That doesn't change. I am definitely confident. However, I thought I knew my worth, and I really didn't. I thought I knew what I was doing, and I didn't. And so I was tolerating and entertaining behavior that was not equal to my worth and what I was bringing to the table. And so therefore, I'm like, okay, we need to just reel it in. Cut out all distractions. Focus. Start loving myself, really realizing like, okay, this is what I deserve. This is what I need to do. And then you also, while you're doing that, you're working on yourself to make yourself a better person for the next person that will respect you and does deserve that energy. So you need to stop. You don't need to be a player. You don't need to use strategies on people. You need to figure out what your worth is, and you need to work on yourself so that you can be the best version of yourself to somebody else. And once you get to that point, you're going to be able to spot a red flag from a mile away. And they may not even be bad people that come in contact with you that might want to pursue you, but you can still see the red flags of like, I know that's something that they need to work on. They're not ready for a relationship. I know that's something that needs to be healed. I'm not going to let that be a problem for me. And you just politely decline. But you are going to start picking up on it so quickly. And then you're going to attract a good person. And it's going to fall in line. So right now, I think that you need to not try to blame your past on why you're acting this way. I always tell people, I'm actually going to get my quote tatted because I say this all the time. I will never allow the bitterness of this world to change my heart. I have a very pure heart, and I'm not going to allow that. So I will never, and say that to yourself if you need to, I'm not going to allow the bitterness of this world to change my heart. Plain and simple. Don't make excuses for bad behavior. Advice needed. Me and my boyfriend had an open relationship. I felt like we needed to close it so that we could focus on us. Then I found out that he drunkenly messaged his old friends with benefits. He was going to lie and not tell me about it, of course, so I had to ask, and he ended up coming clean. He said that things were not physical, but the message had him fantasizing about her coming over. Should I message her just to get clarity on whether or not anything else happened? I want to trust him, but I just don't right now, and I don't want to waste my time. Here's the thing, right? And this has a couple of different points I want to touch on. Normally, I would say, girl, if you have to waste your time messaging somebody else to figure out because you don't trust somebody, you should fucking be with them. Number one, first and foremost, you don't trust somebody, don't be with them. Point blank, period. But your situation is a little more complicated because y'all did have an open relationship, right? When you are used to having such a different dynamic than what it is monogamy, right? Like that, the open and monogamy, very different. Okay, it's not everybody's cut out for an open relationship. Okay, I've had a semi-open relationship before, and I won't do it again. Let's just say that. So, yeah, with y'all having such different dynamics, you went from one extreme to now normal, or what's considered the norm. It's going to take some time to get used to, and yes, when you are in a drunken state of mind, your inhibitions are lower. You're not making the best decisions. We all know this, right? So I think it's more of, and the fact that he came clean about it, that's a good thing. At least he didn't try to gaslight you, lie, invalidate how you feeling, deny it. You know what I mean? At least he came clean about it. So it shows that he is trying what you're asking, right? Maybe he made a mistake. Especially when you're in a drunken state of mind and you're trying to get your brain to rewire itself to get used to something else, right? This type of stuff might happen. I still don't know if it's a good idea to reach out to her, because for all you know, the bitch could lie to you. What if she doesn't like that he's with you? What if she secretly still wants him? Then if she lies to you and says something else happened, then you got this stuff in the back of your mind even more. Now she's fucking up your relationship. You know what I mean? So it's risky. It's risky. I would say, if I was in your shoes, I would not reach out. Now, I always tell people, because I'm very spiritual, go with your gut. Your intuition is not lying. There's a difference between intuition and paranoia, okay? Make sure that you're not getting them confused. So I wouldn't reach out to her. I would let this go, okay? You guys are trying to build basically a new foundation with a monogamous relationship. And you're trying to move forward and start something fresh, okay? Focus on y'all. That's what you said. Focus on y'all. Don't let nobody else get in between. Now, if you find something else, that's when you need to be like, okay, you know what? I thought that this was going to work. I trusted you. I gave it a shot. And something just don't seem right. Then I would say, okay, leave. Then I would say, be done. Then I would say, don't trust him. But right now, I think you just need to let it go. I think if you let it go, you don't press him on it, you start fresh, new slate, and really try to focus on each other, I think you could get through it. If he's a good dude and if he really cares about you. And if he's doing the right thing and he's not cheating. Because he may have hit her up, but something may not have happened. So we've all been there when we drunk texted somebody and nothing even happened. It was just a drunken thing. You wake up in the morning like, I don't know who that was. That was Patricia. I don't know who that was. I think maybe he wasn't telling you about it, not because he was trying to be deceitful. He probably was like, damn, like I kind of fucked up. I don't want to put no thoughts in her head. Nothing happened. I'm just going to let it go. I'm never going to do that shit again. Like, I'm in a monogamous relationship. We're not open no more. I have to remember that. Like, I think sometimes people forget that is a possibility. Because, I've done it before. I'm like, I don't even want to, I'm not saying it because I don't even want to put that thought in that motherfucker's head, because this ain't what it is. And I don't want them to think that this is what it is. I fucked up, but it ain't what it is. Some people do think like that. But now, but only for like a one-time thing, not no regular behavior. You can't be doing that on the regular, because omitting is similar to lying. So, but once in a while, it's what they don't know won't hurt them type shit. I do think that does apply sometimes. Don't overthink it too much. But if he's done other things that have caused you to not trust him, well, then that's a whole other story. That's a whole different can of worms. So, well, that was it for this episode, and I hope you enjoyed. Come back for the next episode. I will see you there. I'm Esmarie.